What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. Welcome to the RNEWS morning show, and let's just jump into it. From r/news. Fauci says it might be time to mandate masks as COVID-19 surges across US. The time was months ago. It doesn't matter how many experts advise this. It's never going to happen. No matter who wins the election, we might as well hold our collective breath until every governor and mayor in the country suddenly decides to work together. However, if the people that don't want to wear a mask held their breath, the problem would solve itself pretty quickly. There's a study that says farts kill the virus. Well, that can't be true because Trump claimed to know more about wind than Biden. And he's still got it. Yeah, people seem to think it's over because they are tired of being inconvenienced. My dad keeps trying to invite me to go out to restaurants and such, and is getting increasingly annoyed because I keep telling him no. The cases in our state are going up. I'm not going anywhere. I've eaten inside a restaurant exactly once since this started, and I stayed like 20 feet away from the other patrons. Edit. It was a burger while my phone's screen was getting replaced in another store in the same strip mall. Burger was alright. Fries were alright. Our family has ordered carry-out a bunch of times, and other than that, I'm way too chicken to go dine-in anywhere. Chicken bro. Avoiding driving 120 miles an hour on a twisty, windy, unfamiliar road isn't a matter of being chicken. It's a matter of not being an idiot. Congratulations. You are not stupid. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Delta adds 460 passengers who refused masks to no-fly list. And mysteriously, Delta also notices a reduction in passengers who put their jackets and purses in the overhead bins, instead of under the seats. This is a glorious, subtle, and relatable burn. Also probably fewer of the type who put their feet on the armrest of the chair in front of them. Less domestic violence per flight. I don't get it. I don't fly often. Why is this a burn? It's saying dickish behaviors are highly correlated. Is putting a jacket up bad manners? Isn't the overhead space used for storing things? I'm not being obnoxious. I really don't know this. Small bags and items should go underneath the seat in front of you because 1. It leaves more space for other people's larger carry-on bags, and 2. It keeps it more easily accessible. Especially purses. Imagine if you're sitting in anything but the aisle seat and having to consistently bother your fellow passengers so you can get up and get something in your purse or grab a jacket because now it's cold, or put it away because it's too warm. Oh, I see. Thank you very much for taking your time to answer. I have ridden a plane only once in my life because it terrifies me, so this was very informative. I freaking love this. What? Consequences for my actions? Yup, consequences for your actions. Good. Anyone who refuses to wear a mask on a plane should be banned for life. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics. Texas sees highest youth voter turnout in country as Dems aim to win state for first time in over 40 years. Texas voting has literally been off the charts. Texas is leading in early voting so much that they have to keep readjusting the maximum in the early voting chart. I've seen it go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 million in a matter of days. The top of the chart is now 7.5 million because these guys recognized 1 million increments were overtaken too fast. Hats off to all the Texans that have made their state have the most early voting so far. I voted last weekend in my area. I doubt my district ends up going blue, but the sheer number of people at the early voting was insane. Honestly gives me shivers. I've got many wonderful friends in Texas. It will be historical if it goes blue. Jersey here would run out into the streets screaming if Texas goes blue. Texan here will run out into the street screaming the stars at night if Texas goes blue. Please make it so. Losing Texas would make Trump's inevitable claims that the election was fraudulent even more absurd. Don't forget there's a new generation of voters that are just as affected by this pandemic as any other American, both in youth and new voters. There's a reason why people are voting so early. As a college student who is now stuck with Zoom U for the next year at my parents' house, you bet your butt I'm ready to vote this fricker out of office. My first presidential election too. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics. Trump complained that Biden wants to talk about middle-class families instead of Fox News. Conspiracy stuff. Biden, middle-class America, I see you suffering, and if elected I will try to ease that suffering. Trump. PSSSH, re-elect me and there won't be a middle class. Problem solved. China. I don't know what's more concerning. The fact that he thinks this kind of crap will make people vote for him, or the fact that this kind of crap actually will make people vote for him. Hopefully enough people see through his antics and see that Biden actually wants to solve issues, and not just tweet conspiracies all day. What is scary to me? A lot of people have let this bleed into every aspect of themselves. They see Trump as a projection of who they aspire to be. They wish they could cuss and yell at a boss, say anything without repercussions. They want to be viewed as powerful and successful. Truthfully, Trump has been a D-list celebrity for years and the butt end of so many jokes. He's weak, a failure, and a con man. Deep down his cult knows this. That's why he can prey on the vulnerable. Edit. Thank you for the award, kind stranger. Just a reminder, Trump's golf bill is cost you over $340 million. www.forbes.com. Relax. He didn't take his $400K salary. Not to mention not divesting or placing his businesses in a blind trust upon being elected. Edit. Blind trust. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. Fewer than 4% of adults in Wuhan, China, tested positive for antibodies against COVID-19, putting the possibility of countries developing herd immunity against the virus without a vaccine in doubt. But their bodies now can quickly produce antibodies SPCIFIC for COVID. If you test yourself for polio, you won't have antibodies either. Frick this inflammatory and ignorant headline. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/Politics, Trump claims at debate that China is paying for farm subsidies. In fact, U.S. taxpayers are footing the bill. Trump. I gave. Biden. The taxpayers gave. Trump. I gave. Biden. Taxpayers. Trump. And who are the taxpayers? China. Biden. Nope, enough evidence. Trump's all up in the Kool-Aid and doesn't even know the flavor. Just the fact that Biden even mentions the American people and their problems should be enough. How freaking sad is it that our president can't even mention how he wants to help us? Everything he says is an attack on something or someone else. It's so crazy. It's absolutely mental, and I don't know how anyone supports this frick. He's just a vile man. Only cares about himself and perceived slights against him. He doesn't even have the intelligence to understand this isn't helping him. The people voting for Trump think everyone is only out for their own self-interests. And any sort of implication that anything you do to benefit everyone is for the benefit of everyone, and not just yourself, makes you a liar. Because they only care about their own self-interest and cannot fathom that anyone else might actually feel differently. Just a reminder, Trump's golf bill is cost you over $340 million. www.forbes.com. He is so freaking economically illiterate. And yet, his supporters think he can be trusted with the economy. What a joke. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like. And if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show, and I'll see you tomorrow.